Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, politics, and entertainment from the millennial mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful friends and loyal listeners. It's always a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly does make it all worthwhile. Please make sure to follow me at Zen Sams. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. And remember that we're now on TV. Tune in at watch.kpmedia.tv and catch A Moment of Zen on the Impact Live channel Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern. All episodes are now available on demand. We have such a great show lined up for you today. In our influencer segment brought to us by Revere Securities, we are featuring teen entrepreneur Fiona Frills, CEO of clean beauty brand Frillance, a brand for teens founded by Fiona, who is a global teen influencer with close to 1 million followers on YouTube. Frillance was named in a roundup on best brands for acne-prone skin and written up as an emerging clean beauty brand you need to know about. She's coming on to chat about the clean beauty rage and how sustainability and simple ingredients are driving the skincare industry, even for teenagers. In our Crypto Frontiers segment brought to you by CCP Digital, we are joined by Chris Pulley, CEO of CCP Digital. And today he's joined by Eddie George, former Ohio State Heisman Trophy winner, current head coach at Tennessee State University. Today we are chatting all about how NFTs are monetizing sports fan bases on sportscast.net. And kicking off Mother's Day weekend with a real mom treat in our Cannabis Culture segment brought to us by Hi There. Today I have the pleasure of chatting with journalist Danielle Simone Brand, author of Weed Mom, the Canna Curious Woman's Guide to Healthier Relaxation, Happier Parenting, and Chilling the F Out. She's coming on to teach us how to ditch the mimosas and authorize us to inhale. In our Culinary and Wine segment, brought to us by Bice Cucina, I will be transporting you to Bice in Midtown, where I'll be having dinner with Peter Guimaraes, the owner, along with my good friend Rich Valdes, who is the voice of Hispanic conservatives and very famous radio host. We're going to chat about the rising New York City crime rates and how it's affecting local businesses as Peter puts our taste buds to the test. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with our influencer, Fiona Frills.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Revere Securities. Revere is committed to building a relationship of trust in which they work closely with you to help you define your objectives, explore alternatives, and choose the financial and investment strategies that are most appropriate for you. Go to reveresecurities.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I am your host, Zen Sams. Now, up in our influencer segment brought to us by Revere Securities, we are featuring teen entrepreneur Fiona Frills. She's CEO of clean beauty brand Frillance. Now, beauty brand Frillance is for teens, founded by Fiona, who is a global teen influencer with close to 1 million followers on YouTube. Now, Frillance was named in a roundup on best brands for acne-prone skin, emerging clean beauty brands you need to know about, and featured in Birdie, Bustle, InStyle, and Vogue Italia, just to name a few. Now, Fiona launched the brand after years of struggling with brands that didn't really understand teen skin. Recently featured in E's Egg-tastic Easter gift ideas and selected as one of Amazon's emerging indie beauty brands, Frillance recently hit Walmart stores, and they have a very unique natural product like acne blocking concealer and a no mask any face mask ranging in price from $8 to even $32. Now, the rising brand's been mentioned across social media by influencers like Brighton Charbino, and magazines like Nylon Magazine have even thrown features their way. All products are cruelty-free, mineral oil-free, sulfate-free, formaldehyde-free, paraben-free, hypoallergenic. The list goes on. And today we are chatting about the truth behind the clean beauty rage. And a lot has been said about how the pandemic motivated Americans to be more discerning about what they put in their bodies. But the crisis may also have started doing a big trick on what they put on their bodies. Now, demand has spiked over the past year, according to a report by the NPD Group. Some 68% of consumers say they are looking for skincare brands that highlight clean ingredients. And the concept of so-called clean beauty, makeup, and skincare products marketed as free or harmful of any kind of artificial ingredients is the latest catchphrase in a world of products sold as sustainable, environmentally conscious, or simply safer. And here to break it all down for us, the clean and honest way, is Fiona Frills.
I'm so excited to be here. Oh my God, that was the best introduction ever. Oh my God, I love your energy. This is incredible.
Fiona, you are beautiful and glowing and young and full of energy. Please tell us about yourself. Where are you from? And what was the inspiration behind this beauty brand?
Absolutely, yes. So I am Fiona. I am originally from Northern California, and I started my company because I really struggled with my skin. It started around the age of 12, and I struggled with my self-confidence. I struggled so much throughout like middle school and high school with my self-confidence already. And I know many other teens and tweens go through that. And I really didn't want their skin to play a part in like how they view themselves and how other people view them. So I decided to create this brand that is completely natural, non-comedogenic, hypoallergenic, cruelty-free, and I really want teens to feel listened to because I feel like teens are always looked over. So yeah, I'm excited to be here.
That is really kind of inspirational. Now, how old are you?
I'm currently now 18.
Wow, you are just, it's so inspiring to see a generation and somebody within your generation like yourself, so entrepreneurial and such a great head on their shoulders. Talk to me about what's, I know that you are now in Walmart, but what store would you love to see Frillance in other than Walmart?
Ulta, 100%. Ulta and Target. Like, it's so hard for me to decide between the two. Like, I love both to death. Same with CVS, but Ulta.
Ulta. Okay. And what advice do you have for aspiring teen entrepreneurs?
I would say start. I feel like so many people are like, oh, I'll like start in like a month when I'm ready, or I'll start in a year, or I'll start like tomorrow. Start now. Like, I feel like a lot of people push it off or they don't feel like it's the right time. And my opinion is just start, even if it's a very small step. It's important to just like start the process.
Yeah, don't procrastinate. I say that all the time.
Yes. Same with everything.
Same with everything. And now let's pivot to consumers, that are looking for something different in the market. Consumers should also know that natural doesn't automatically mean better or safer, right? Ingredients such as essential oils can trigger allergic reactions, especially for those with sensitive skin. And I know that your brand's mission is to honor teens by doing what's best for their health, their skin, their budget, and the world around them with products that are truly powerful and natural and sustainable and pretty much really simple. So I love the concept. It's clean, it's simple, it's effective. What inspired the name Frillance?
Well, my last name on like all social media is Frills. So I really wanted to play off of that. And I remember I was trying to come up with ideas and I was like just naming words that were like good, positive words. And brilliant came to mind. So I was like, how can I spice brilliant up? So it's like Frillance, like brilliance. I loved it and I still do. I was like, oh my God, I feel like that's a good name. So I just rolled with it and I didn't overthink it too much.
I love it. Now, you are also an influencer on social media and you trend very well. So as an influencer, you know a thing or two about marketing and marketing with brands. What is your buyer beware statement to people looking for natural and organic ingredients when looking at skincare labels?
I would say so many brands can like put on their package like natural, clean. Like you can basically say whatever. Like the whole like beauty industry, same with skincare, is not like regulated enough in my personal opinion. So really look at the ingredients. Like dig through them. You can search them up, see what's happening. Like you can look them up on Google when you're in stores and really understand your products, but like do the research. Don't take someone's word for it. Like you should do your own research in my opinion.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, if from your perspective, when you're talking about research and misconceptions, what do you feel is the biggest misconception about clean beauty, and what issue do you have with the current products on the market?
I would say I feel like overall A lot of brands, especially or like companies like Sephora, Ulta, like CVS, I feel like they've been stepping it up a lot, but I feel like there's a lot of still white space and there's a lot of brands that haven't evolved yet. But I think a lot of brands are starting to listen to like Gen Z and millennials and Gen X, like everyone. I feel like everyone is starting to like kind of listen, which I love. But overall, I think it's going in the right direction. And I would personally say that dermatology tested really bothers me because there's a lot of products that I absolutely will never put on my skin that say dermatology tested, which is really sad. And I feel like a lot of people would look at that and be like, oh, it's safe, but it's not.
Interesting. So it's really truly about doing your due diligence, your homework, understanding the ingredients on packaging before you actually put it on your skin. I love that. That is great advice. What results does Frillance promise?
Clearing your skin an effective and easy way. It's very simple. Like nothing is like a 10-step thing. Like same with the makeup products. Like you can apply it in your car. You can apply it when you're about to go play like a soccer game or a sports game. Like it's super, super easy and effective. That is like the whole entire like brand. I didn't want it to be difficult to use because teens are always on the go. They're always going and doing something. So I wanted it to be very simple and not take up too much time because your teen years are very valuable. As mine are slowly starting to end. I mean, I still have 2 years left, but it's sad in a way. I'm like, oh my God, I like miss being like 15. So I wanted everything to be very quick and easy.
Oh my God, I feel so old. I miss being 15. I miss being 20. Well, what is
You're not 20?
No, I'm not 20. I'm nowhere near 20.
You literally look 20. Like if you told me you were like 21, I'd be like, yes, girl, get it. Like actually.
God bless you, child. But no, but the good news is that I do have a 19-year-old stepdaughter at the University of Georgia, and I'm going to make sure she listens to this episode. So let's go back. I have one last question. Is there a main ingredient, like an underlying theme that is kind of the main ingredient in your products, or is it just you just practice the clean, the natural, the sustainable?
It depends on each product because each formula, like let's say a serum and a cream, they have completely different like ingredients like that they need to like be like a cream or be a serum or be a gel or be a liquid. So it really depends on the product, but I love like niacinamide. That is like a really key one. And same with willow bark. That is incredible for clearing your skin. I really like natural alternatives that aren't too harsh because salicylic acid, for example, is very harsh on your skin. It can be effective for some people, but I've also found that it's very harsh on most people's skin. So I try to use very like light, like ingredients so they're not too like drying or intense or like burn. Like I hate that. That just never feels good.
Well, I'm so excited to check out your products. Can't wait. Thank you so much for coming on. It was such a pleasure chatting with you. You are such an inspiration, especially on this Mother's Day special. All moms out there, especially yours, should be really proud of you.
Yes, happy Mother's Day. Oh my gosh, I need to go text my mom.
You guys have to check out Fiona on the gram at Fiona Frills. That's with 2 S's, or definitely check her out on her website, Frillance.com. She's the CEO and founder of this amazing clean beauty product line, Frillance.com. That was our influencer segment brought to you by Revere Securities. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Hi There, a creative community exploring the culture, craft, and science of cannabis. Hi There believes that we have a collective responsibility towards eradicating the stigma, misinformation, and inequities surrounding this plant so we can unlock its true potential for all. To become involved and find out what all the excitement is about, download the Hi There app from the App Store and Google Play. Hi There, HIGHTHERE.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams, kicking off Mother's Day weekend with our Cannabis Culture segment brought to us by Hi There, where we cover the latest in cannabis edutainment. Now, on the Hi There platform, you will find a cannabis-friendly social network. Today, I have the pleasure of chatting with journalist Danielle Simone Brand, author of Weed Mom, the Canna Curious Woman's Guide to Healthier Relaxation, Happier Parenting, and Chilling the F Out. Now, during the pandemic, alcohol culture was amplified. For many, it seemed that any time was in fact wine o'clock, especially for us overburdened moms. Unfortunately, it's still very much a habit many have yet to break. And even as life gets back to normal, many are stuck in a rut. Today, we are talking about medicinal cannabis for stress relief as a social alternative to alcohol. Now, she's just one of a growing number of mamas who are trading mimosas for cannabis. And as featured in the Good Morning America segment, weed moms are the new wine moms. Her book explains cannabis benefits over alcohol, particularly for moms. Now, being a cannabis advocate and huge aficionado myself, I can attest to all of the benefits. As a parent, I'm also constantly looking for ways to manage the stresses of everyday life. Mindful breathing, exercise, proper diet, these are all good, but who has the time for all that with kids running around? Parents are now turning to cannabis and CBD to aid them through their days and make them able to be more relaxed parents. Of individuals in favor of recreational legalization, women are more likely than men to express interest in ingesting cannabis-infused products if they're in the form of baked goods, candies, cooking ingredients, and non-alcoholic beverages. And when you take age into consideration, the desire to consume marijuana-infused products is the most prevalent among millennial women. That's right. Now, here's a lesson for all marketers. This surprising shift in interest towards cannabis among millennial women with kids may be reframing the very idea of modern family and what it means to be a good mom. And here to break it all down is Danielle Simone Brand. Welcome back to the show, stunning mama.
Hello, Zen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be back.
You look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Amazing book, by the way. I've read it through and through. You are basically authorizing fellow moms to inhale, covering the intersections of parenting and cannabis. And your aim is to push the conversation to a more progressive place, which is a very fitting topic for this segment, as Hi There's mission is a platform aimed to demystify the stigma. What inspired you to write this book, and how has cannabis changed your parenting ways?
Great question. So, cannabis was not my thing for a long time. I was just a mom in my 30s, doing my thing, living my life and, trying to have a career, trying to have a social life at the same time, the struggles that all of us are really familiar with. And I started freelance writing. I was kind of breaking into a new career and kind of fell in love with cannabis from this intellectual perspective. I mean, it's not as cool, I guess, as saying, I had a first experience that was amazing, but honestly, I fell in love with it from an intellectual perspective. I found out it's fascinating. It bridges science and culture and social justice and media and business and all these different aspects of life that I'm interested in, natural living, environment, all these things. And so, I took my first cautious little step into the legal marketplace, and I found out that it made me feel great. It's a wonderful wellness tool. So honestly, it was just, a quick path from there. My first, puff on my yoga mat to becoming a full-on advocate and enthusiast. And I wrote this book because I know the struggles that moms are going through. We're tired. We don't have enough time for self-care, as you just mentioned. We are burned out. We have so many responsibilities and so much on our plate. And this plant actually, it helps us. Instead of bringing us down like alcohol or having tons of side effects like pharmaceuticals, cannabis actually promotes health and well-being. So that's why I thought, this is for moms and they don't know it yet. So let me tell them.
You couldn't be more right. You hit it right on. I call cannabis a super medication because it is such a wide window of therapy. It is and has such a wide window of therapeutic potentials for so many different ailments. And another benefit is the light side effects of cannabis in comparison to many other pharmaceutical drugs. I mean, while cannabis is not, damaging organs as many pharmaceutical medications can do, sure, it has some of those other lingering side effects, if you're feeling a little bit dizzy or whatnot, but nowhere near to where the opiates are, destroying organs, so to speak. And when you look at the economics, people will consume a good as long as the benefit exceeds the cost, right? So with the legalization of cannabis, the cost has been greatly reduced in acquiring it. And in addition, the market has become safer and more innovative. Is this something we should be talking openly to our children about? I mean, hey, mommy smokes weed. What are your perspectives here?
Yeah, that is a great question. And honestly, I say in the book that it depends on a lot of things, where you live, the legal status of cannabis, because right now we're in such an uneven patchwork of access and legality. So, obviously you want to take that into account. You want to take into account your co-parenting situation, whether you have an ex that might, make it difficult for you if you are an open cannabis consumer, your job, obviously. But, as long as it feels safe enough, I do think these are important conversations to have with our kids and our families, because the narrative about cannabis has been so negative up until really recently. And, DARE programs today continue to teach kids some misinformation about cannabis. And, we want to get to them first. We want to, prime them for the information that cannabis is a helpful and healing plant. It should be respected. It's not for kids' brains. It's an adult activity, but something that, we can normalize and really change the narrative about for the future.
Very true. Changing the narrative, it really does begin there. And I've talked to different types of people, leaders, shamans, celebrities, politicians, and some really describe cannabis as so powerful because it allows the individual into these portals of insight and into diverse thinking patterns. And while allowing the individual to engage in normal daily functions, you're also at a much calmer state. So it enables a lot of people to kind of experience a slightly altered perspective throughout their day, kind of, managing moods. So I do love it for that reason. But I'll pivot to something a little bit more, statistic based. So according to the National Institute of Health, people have used marijuana or cannabis, so to speak, to treat their ailments for at least 3,000 years. Okay. And cannabis, we know, is made up of more than 120 components, which are known as cannabinoids. CBD and THC are the two most well-known and researched cannabinoids, and THC is responsible for the high that many people associate with cannabis, while CBD is non-intoxicating, non-euphoric component, which you see in the form of like oils, gummies, drinks, and other products for medical purposes. And this is for our audience out there that's trying to compartmentalize this. What products do you recommend, Danielle, for beginners, for a mom that just wants to take the edge off and just give it a go?
Yeah, well, okay, you mentioned different cannabinoids, and absolutely, I think CBD is the first step for so many moms. First of all, it's 100% legal across the United States, so that's a big boon. I would look for full spectrum CBD, so that has a tiny, tiny bit of THC in it below the legal limits of 0.3%, which is actually really low. But CBD is being studied for anxiety, for help with sleep and relaxation, for pain relief, lots of things that moms could really use throughout the day. So I think CBD is a great entry point. And then after that, THC, if you want to add it on, if it's legal in your state, if you have access, I always say start low and go slow. So, if you're going to take an edible, start with less than you think you might need, less than a serving size, because, you don't want to have a bad experience. I think, I want to gently guide moms through this process because we have a lot to do, right? We don't have time to get, too inebriated, too intoxicated and not be able to parent. So obviously start low and go slow. 2.5 milligrams of edible THC is a good place to start just to see how it lands with you. And I always recommend doing that at a time that you're not actively parenting or solo parenting, just to make sure that, you understand how it affects you. And then after that, you can slowly titrate upwards until you find your sweet spot. THC is really, really dose dependent. So small doses will have one effect and larger doses will have a different effect. So small doses might help you with anxiety, relieving anxiety, but if you take too much, it could make you more anxious. So it's all about finding your sweet spot personally.
Couldn't agree more. And back to your book, it's true that ditching the mimosas is actually important because alcoholism and drug addiction seem to be on the rise, and especially during the pandemic. But another comprehensive review of evidence published last year in the journal Clinical Psychology Review revealed that using cannabis may help people with alcohol or opioid dependencies to fight their addictions. So there you go, another reason as to why this plant is truly revolutionary. But listen, we've run out of time. I want to make sure that everybody understands how to access your book, how to download it, where to find it. It is Mother's Day weekend, and I do believe that this is probably a great little gift to even give your fellow mom, your girlfriend. I mean, this is a book that offers so much insight. You guys, you definitely have to check out her book. Tell us where we can get it.
Yeah, it's available on Amazon, or you can ask your local bookshop to carry a copy. That's always fun for supporting local bookstores and for authors.
Absolutely. Let's check out Danielle Simone Brand. .com. So DanielleSimoneBrand.com, or you can go to Amazon and just search for a Weed Mom. She's also on the gram with her name at Danielle Simone Brand. That was our Cannabis Culture segment brought to us by Hi There. You're listening to a moment of Zen. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CCP Digital, bringing you a view from inside blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFTs. Introducing the latest Blockchain Heroes series, Retro Rebellion NFT collectible card packs from the Nifty Company. Available January 2022. Find out more online at ccpdigital.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Coming up in our Crypto Frontier segment brought to you by CCP Digital, we are joined by returning contributor Chris Pulley, CEO of CCP Digital, a decade-old digital advertising agency with unique access and knowledge in the blockchain and cryptocurrency industries. Chris and his team offer a definite competitive advantage as we enter the era of Web 3.0. Today, he is joined by Eddie George, former Ohio State Heisman Trophy winner, Rookie of the Year, and four-time Pro Bowl selection for the Tennessee Titans, current head coach at Tennessee State University. Today, we are chatting all about how NFTs are monetizing sports fan bases and how the platform sportscast.net is upending digital sports collectibles. They basically fuse original artwork digital cards with athlete-created content, and each encoded collectible card enables exclusive access to select Sportscast episodes where you can be part of private conversations shared by very well-known sports figures and participate in a ton of exclusive perks. Now, as Eddie and Chris get settled into the broadcast room, let's chat. There's no one more committed than a sports fan. They are famously dedicated, willing to wait in line for hours or even days, to travel cross-country or even across the world to watch their favorite teams and players perform. They brave the bitter cold and scorching heat to cheer for their idols. Nothing can stand in their way. Shrewd business people have been monetizing their passion for decades, selling paraphernalia like jerseys, jackets, hats, pins, player cards, and almost any item that can be emblazoned with a team logo or sold with an autograph. NFTs have given sports aficionados a venue to express their fan-powered passion and may be positioned to disrupt the ecosystem of fans, players, brands, teams, and leagues. And during the pandemic, when they couldn't attend live sporting events, NFTs also offered a way for fans to connect and engage with their favorite teams without leaving home. And here to chat some more are Chris Pulley and Eddie George. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Eddie, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, Zen, how are you? How are you guys doing? Hi, Chris. How you doing today?
Good to see you.
Nice to have you on. So I'm going to start with you. So on sportscast.net, pro athletes share stories that are not out in the public with one another. Feels like I'm part of something very exclusive. Now you take those stories and attach them to original artwork of the athletes and sell them for ownership as NFTs. It's basically your modern day trading cards. Talk to me about some of the perks fans get and give me the overview of the first official drop that features you, to my understanding.
Yes, so you have it perfectly down with everything in terms of, this is something that the public can own, something that you're not going to hear in a typical interview, stories you haven't heard before, personal stories with me. And I'm actually hosting this segment, myself and other friends that I have on there. Our first one will be dropping with Jerome Bettis. And Jerome, we go back. Jerome and I go way back to 1996 when I first got drafted. In fact, we have the same agent. And you'll hear stories about on draft day, on my draft day. Ironically, the draft day is coming up pretty soon for the draft, NFL draft, where he and I may have traded places. I could have been a Pittsburgh Steeler. He would have been a Houston Oiler. And these are some stories that fans, they don't know about and that they never heard before. It's a one of a kind deal, and artwork is included in that. And this is a modern day trading card in the NFT space. So it's a really brilliant idea by these gentlemen.
It's fantastic. And I know we're going to have Chris pipe in, but back to what you just said, I feel like you just gave me some exclusive information. I mean, Jerome Bettis, a former American football running back who played in the National Football League for 13 seasons, primarily, like you said, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he was nicknamed the Bus. But to know that might almost have been you is pretty exclusive. And I would want to be part of something like that, which this is a great platform. So thank you for doing this. Chris, I'm going to pivot to you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Always such great insight when you're here. So one of the most exciting initiatives in sports NFTs is, for instance, NBA Top Shop, right? They launched back in October of 2020. The NFT sports application is a partnership between Dapper Labs, which is a blockchain company, and the NBA. And it offers a marketplace for fans to buy and sell highlight clips of top basketball games coupled with NBA licensed digital items as NFTs. And less than a year after it was launched, NBA Top Shop has already made over 700 million in sales. And I know that you are a numbers guy. How realistic is it for the smaller leagues to replicate this revenue, and where is the market headed?
Wow, that's a fantastic question. Every level of sports is being touched by the Web3 and the blockchain technology. It's just literally you figure every club at every level up the ladder can use this technology to capture their intellectual property that's already being recorded in a lot of cases, and can then offer limited supply of that moment in history. The backflip kick in soccer, the one-handed catch in football for high school, for college, for the Canadian football. So you just imagine this, every level has the ability now. And the beautiful thing is it creates a relationship between the player and their personal fans. And we believe, as in the future, as we look at recruiting in the sports industry, that we'll look at who has a connected, engaged fan base almost as much as the skill. So if there's two gentlemen that are, or two people that have the same skill, but one has a rabid fan base and can see it through their engagement with the technology, etc., you're going to bring the one that has the fans too. So I just think it's going to change even some of the operating processes in the future, because now these athletes will be creating a business from as early as they turn 18 or have parents' permission to start capturing their efforts and turning them into memorabilia.
Yeah, without a doubt, we're seeing a lot of this transition. I mean, look, NBA Top Shop is not alone, right? Other sports leagues are launching their own NFT marketplaces, including Candy Digital for baseball NFTs. And then you have UFC for mixed martial arts NFTs, and even NASCAR for stock car racing NFTs. So we are definitely seeing a shift on both sides, right? And now, Eddie, this is kind of an interesting question, because I want to hear from your perspective as a professional athlete. Pro athletes have a relatively short career playing sport, right? Living most of their life off earnings made off the field, which is why commercializing their name, image, and likeness, NIL, NIL, is important. Athletes have traditionally been commercializing their NIL via endorsement deals and sponsorships by advertising products or becoming brand ambassadors. While as of late, athletes like yourself are commercializing their NIL through the use of NFTs. This is the new form of monetization fueled on Web 3.0, and this is the new creator economy. This is what is emerging. Do you feel this is a rise of a new era for professional athletes?
Yes, not just professional athletes, but athletes in general. I'm also a head coach here at Tennessee State, and we're constantly exploring new ways of how we can help assist our young athletes get their name, image, and likeness across. Especially being at HBCU, there's a unique opportunity here to do just that, and the NFT space allows for that to happen. It now allows the athlete to become more ubiquitous in terms of getting their name and their image out there, letting them know who they are, what they love to do, some of their other passions, a new way to make money, so to speak, and to use that as the tip of the spear for other opportunities, other brands to look at, to show your personality, to show your other interests, to show your other business interests, and also to make more recurring revenue. It's a wonderful opportunity. So it's great for somebody like myself, a retired athlete. It's great for the current NFL athlete. It's also great for student athletes to make a living and to build their brands moving forward.
And that's exactly critical, what you just said, because on the college level, NFTs have also started gaining a lot of popularity after July 2021, when the Supreme Court of the United States ruled against the National Collegiate Athletics Association, right? Prohibition on college athletes from monetizing or profiting from their name, image, and likeness in any form. But now college athletes can commercialize their brands via NFTs by selling digital nils and the content they produce, be it image, music, across marketplaces using smart contracts. And the best example I could think of, tying directly into your commentary, is University of Alabama quarterback Bryce Young launched his own NFT of an animated artistic rendering of himself against the backdrop of roses, which is currently priced at 0.1 Ethereum, or that really translates to about $475 or so at the current cryptocurrency exchange rate. So you are 100% correct, my friend. Very great observation. Chris, we have about 3 minutes. I'm going to pivot to you before we get off this segment and come to a commercial break. But the sports collectibles market is a perfect example of an investment sector that is increasing in value and fits the ideal use cases for NFTs. The market was recently estimated at about $5.4 billion, and nearly every month, NFT and cryptocurrency companies are sponsoring sports teams to make fans more aware of what the industry offers. Talk to me about the generations involved here, because we know for a fact that Gen Zs are not just digital natives. Gen Zs are Web3 natives. They are born in a world with internet, social media, and they are the primary target. But what about baby boomers and your age category? Very different behavioral patterns. What do you say to this?
Wow. I'm still thinking about how important the timing was for the name, image, likeness of the collegiate athletes that happened at this date in history. At the same time, the Web3 and the blockchain technology has created this opportunity through NFTs. It just is an amazing point in time and history right there. So Zen, it may even re-ask the question, because I was still pondering there how
I love it. Okay.
It's changing it'll change the whole trajectory from little league up now. And I don't even think we are going to see the opportunities yet. I mean, it's just amazing what's being created in this space. And I just wanted to commend Eddie for getting here and starting in this process. This drop that they're doing is going to be amazing. I mean, there's a little risque stuff. That's why you're not going to mass sell it as well. So there's things in there people want to see. But I've seen behind the curtain and what his plans are around college athletes, and he's got a program coming that's really going to make a difference for these young athletes. And I'm just excited to be here and be part of it.
Yeah, Eddie, do you want to add any closing thoughts before we cut to a commercial break about the process and what you want to share with the world?
Not really. I think it's just a great opportunity for people to find ownership. I mean, not only can they, not from the athlete side, but for others to, if you're a fan of a Bryce Young or a fan of a Jerome Bettis or Eddie George, here's your opportunity to buy an NFT, a slice of it, own it, and you have an opportunity to resell that to the market, and it can appreciate over time. And again, these are experiences and opportunities that you're not going to find anywhere in the world. I mean, this is a one of a kind opportunity. So I think it definitely has legs, and it's an exciting time in our history for sure.
You said it best. And I think Chris answered his own question. I think the baby boomers and the millennials are definitely jumping on the bandwagon as well, because you are the very creators behind the infrastructure. So the answer has been naturally come around. Well, guys, listen, we're out of time entirely, but I would love to invite you back and to chat some more. Chris, always with the best guests. You have the top spots here. Thank you so much for coming on, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
That was our Crypto Frontier segment brought to us by CCP Digital. You guys have to definitely check out sportscast.net. Check them out on the gram at sportscastpros, and definitely check out CCP Digital at ccp.digital. That was our returning contributor, Chris Pulley and Eddie George. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
If you've missed out dining in New York City for the past year, it's time to visit the legendary Bice Cucina. Located in the heart of Midtown, Bice specializes in blending delicious Northern Italian and American cuisine with dishes such as the incredible taglione lobster, ravioli masala, ossobuco, and pappardelle al telefono, along with many other mouthwatering offerings. You deserve a great night out. Call Bice Cucina, 212-757-2600, or online at bicecucina.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there that are mamas in one shape or form. Now, coming up, we have our very famous culinary and wine segment. And this week, we are featuring Peter Guimaraes, a restaurateur with a very strong political opinion across all fronts. I'm going to be transporting you to Bice Cucina in Midtown, where I'll be having dinner with Peter, the owner, along with my good friend Rich Valdes, radio host, podcaster, and the voice of conservative Hispanics. We're going to chat the rise in NYC's crime rate and how it's affecting local business as Peter puts our taste buds to the test. Now, a few stats before we head over to our dinner party that you are coming along to. Murders in New York City surged in 2020 by 47% from the year prior, one of the most significant increases in the city's history. Crime rates in the city across the board increased 5% in 2021, but the first month of 2022 saw a 39% spike as compared to the previous year. Now, NYC Mayor Eric Adams, when asked whether we need a better way to track potentially dangerous individuals like Frank James, who's accused of shooting 10 people at a subway in Brooklyn last month and had posted hate-filled videos on YouTube, including one just a day before the attack, in which he admitted he wanted to kill people and watch people die. But Mayor Eric Adams raised eyebrows after pinning part of the blame for New York City's crime wave on social media's firm's failure to police violent uploads. What are you talking about? Passing the buck, Eric? Now, we all know that the mayor is a former cop. And after the Brooklyn subway shooting, he pledged to double the murders of officers patrolling the subway system. And we have seen, in fact, more patrolling taking place. A week after that initial incident, though, a married Queens mother of two was found dead inside a bloody duffel bag on the side of the road, less than a half a mile from her home in Forest Hills. So this is all very, very disturbing statistics. Now, Eric, you need to get your act together. Now, mind you, if you stay out of the subways and away from the bad pockets, the city itself is still fairly safe when you proceed with caution. So let's head over to Bice Cucina carefully and meet Peter and Rich. We'll be right back with our culinary and wine segment live from Bice Cucina. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Tempus, the next generation of the engagement economy, allowing people to make money on their data and earn cryptocurrency for the time they spend on things they already currently love to do. With Tempus, brands will have the ability to pay you directly for interacting with apps, watching videos, playing games, and more. Tempus, the time is now. Engage and earn.
Hey, what's up? It's Rich Valdes. I'm here for A Moment of Zen on 710 WOR, and we're waiting for Zen Sams. She's putting on her makeup, doing what she does, doing what girls do, taking forever in the bathroom, and doing what girls do. Hold on. They're probably going to call the woke police on me for making a comment.
You're going to regret that statement.
I'm here with Peter. He's the owner of Bice Cucina right here in New York City, and this is a lovely part of town. No crime going on right here, but there's crime all over the city, in the outer boroughs, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Queens, and it's such a shame, Peter, to see that there's so much crime going on. You've entered the foray with your throwing your political hat into the ring. You're an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. Give me an idea of what's your take on all of this.
So it's a catch-22, right? Because crime in my area really isn't really happening, right? Right here in Midtown, crime is very low. But what happens is for tourists and for people from other countries, they hear about crime in New York. They don't know if it's happening in Queens. They don't know if it's happening in Brooklyn, like that bombing that happened on the subway, the shooting that happened on the subway.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Brooklyn. That was 10 to 15 miles from here. But people here in New York, they think it's, right in the heart of the city. So crime is very small in our area here, but it affects us, and we want this problem solved. We want what Mayor Adams promised when he took office, that his major concern was going to be crime, homeless, and garbage. And if you watch TV and the news, his major concern is clubbing with the supermodels and trying to push a vegetarian lifestyle on our kids in school. We got serious issues here. We need to go back to what he campaigned on.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Looking at what happened last week with this the shooter on the subway, and you look at everything that's going on across the city, Adams is constantly, whenever he's giving a press conference or he's giving a comment, he's dressed to the nines, ready for the nightclub, ready for the TikTok girls, ready for the red carpet. And New Yorkers like you that live a few blocks away here in Midtown Manhattan, by the way, great restaurant. You guys want to check it out for Mother's Day. Bice Cucina, fantastic on 55th Street on the west side. And it's a lovely place, and thank God, in the theater district, people are still safe. But the rest of New York is suffering, and it's my opinion that this is because of the radical, crazy, left-wing defund the police movement, where people said, we got to get rid of this because policing is racist. And because it's racist, we're going to stop it. But guess what happened? More black people have been killed, more Hispanics, Puerto Ricans like me have been killed over the last year because of these policies, and it makes you think, where's the wisdom in that? There isn't any. What's your take on how that's affecting the city and businesses like yours?
Well, it's first of all, it's crazy. For every action, there's a reaction, right? You take $1 billion, which is what happened, out of the New York City policeman's budget. We have a rise in crime. Crime is back to when I used to have the nightclub on the West Side Highway. It's gotten that bad. And the last administration, de Blasio, they took $1 billion during this BLM, Black Lives Matter movement. They took $1 billion out of the budget for New York City. They put it into a fund called Thrive, which was a great fund that had a lot of meaning to help the underprivileged and the people without insurance. But $800 million went unaccountable for, and nobody's investigated. Only $200 million went into the fund that's supposed to go to the people that need it. So whenever you take money, I've never heard, and we own restaurants all over the world, whenever you take money out of a situation, you're not fixing it. I've never had a restaurant where it's like, let's take $100,000 out of the budget and advertise it and we're going to make it. No, it doesn't work that way. The more money you throw at things, usually 99.9% of the time, money fixes the situation. And especially in this city, we need more cops. We need cops on the subways. We need 5,000 cops on the subways. We need to have
How do we get those cops?
Well, you know what? You have to put more funding into the police budget. But the problem now is it's again another catch-22 because cops are not respected in this city, and they're not respected because we have leaders like de Blasio, leaders like Adams, who constantly put down the police. We need to back up our people in blue. They're the ones on the streets defending us. We need to throw money at them, we need to equip them properly, and we need to make sure we have a show of force. What happened to the horses? They used to go through Times Square and through our neighborhood with cops on it. People love to take pictures with them, but it also shows a sign of force. Let's get cops on the street. The only time I see a cop is when I go to Walgreens. They're protecting the Red Bull. Let's get them out of Walgreens and put them on the corners and protect the city. I can go on all day.
Yeah, we're here at Bice Cucina. You want to be here for Mother's Day. We're on West 55th Street, New York City. And I want to welcome Zen Sams because Zen Sams is in the ladies' room, powdering her nose, doing what ladies do, putting on a red dress, lady in red. I don't know if you're hearing that. It's playing in the background. But here she is, Zen Sams, everybody, 710 WR. Zen, take it away.
Hi, guys. So excited to be here and spend Mother's Day with my two favorite people, Peter Guimaraes, owner of Bice Cucina right here in Midtown Manhattan, and of course the very famous Rich Valdes, the voice of Hispanic conservatives. And the one thing I want to say is that I can't wait to dig in to this festivity right here. It is the most beautiful plate I've ever seen and one of my favorite dishes, octopus carpaccio, only done at Bice Cucina. Peter Guimaraes is probably the only person that does it just the right way, and where it's just that succulent taste that only octopus carpaccio can offer. Not even sushi bars can get this right. But I know that I crashed a party because we were talking about the violence that's taking place in the tri-state area. Although I feel very safe right here because we are in Midtown. It's one of those things that as a mom plagues me every day. So no, I no longer take the subway. Eric Adams has disappointed me in ways that I can't even begin to explain. And because of that, we now have to take other precautionary measures as New Yorkers that we didn't have to in the past. Peter, how is this directly affecting the pass-through business?
Well, like we were speaking before you crashed the party in your red succulent dress, it affects us because people don't know the different neighborhoods in New York, right? When you have a tourist coming in from out of town, they don't know the difference between Midtown and Soho, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. They just hear New York. So when you hear a gunman is loose on the subways in New York, psychologically you think all of New York isn't safe. But, you know, as a New Yorker, Brooklyn's problem is my problem. Queens' problem is our problem, right? So we're all together and we need to fix this as one.
I agree. We're all together and we have to fix this problem, and it all begins with voting for the right leadership, which hasn't been done up until date, right, Rich? I mean, I think that New York City is in need of some level of reform.
Yeah, well, it seems, Zen, to me, it seems that we have a problem not only in New York City with people voting toward the left and going with these left-wing policies, but it happened in Washington. You took a once kind of moderate Democrat like Joe Biden, and he succumbed to the pressure of the left, saying, you know what, yes, I'm going to go ahead and defund the police. Even though he kind of shied away from it during the riots, he wouldn't call it out. To me, that is a tacit endorsement of what happened with the George Floyd riots. Moreover, we've got Joe Biden now. He just took a huge loss recently with the masks on airplanes. This is, I think, a big win for the American people. It's a big win for everybody that's out there traveling, that wants to spend money, that wants to come to the city and be a tourist, to be at Peter's restaurant, because ultimately people want to do what they want to do. It's about exercising your right, and we can't do a lot of that. I mean, we're free to exercise our rights, but we're not safe to do it in a city that isn't protected. So elite Eric Adams needs to get out of the nightclub and get into City Hall and do what he's got to do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And you know, this is a man who used to be a cop, so you would think that security would be at the forefront of his brain. You would think that the first day taking over, he would have released double and triple the amounts of police officers in the subway system, but he didn't. He waited till something like this happened, where Frank James decided that he was going to, shoot up a whole bunch of people, because that's what he claimed he wanted to see happen. He wanted to watch people die, as per his YouTube posts. And the only thing that Eric Adams, Mayor Eric Adams of New York City, by the way, was able to say is point fingers at the social media firms to tell them that they weren't policing the content that they're uploading. So, passing the buck again, Eric.
And also blaming the guns, right? Nobody, even nationally, nobody went and critiqued the person that did the shooting. They said, oh, this is why we need more gun laws. New York has the strictest gun laws in the world. It took me like forever to get one because I have cash and, I'm a retail, so I was able to. But the normal person cannot get a gun license. We have the strictest gun license in the country. So this guy still got his license. So it's not about the gun, it's about the people. He had an extensive arrest record. These district attorneys in these different left, socialist, communist, democratic states, they need to start locking people up. You start locking people up, crime goes down. Guns are still going to be sold, but crime will go down.
And Zen, I know it's Mother's Day, so I'll keep it really, really family friendly. But I'm going to say, an armed society is a polite society. Guess what? When half of the people on that subway cart actually are carrying a pocketbook filled with a 9mm, or somebody's got something in their waistband, people think 2 and 3 times before they do something stupid like that. That's why you don't see these types of things in states that have open carry. And again, I'm a big Second Amendment advocate.
You have to say it, because now my husband is going to watch this episode, and he's going to say, you see, I told you so, and that's why I want to buy a gun, and I've been saying no guns in the house.
Yeah, well, listen, the last thing you want to be is in a situation where you need a gun and the bad guy's got one and you don't.
Well said.
No, but
Amen.
that's okay. The fact that you don't want a gun in the house, as an American, you have a right not to have a gun in the house, but you also, as an American, have a right to have a gun in the house.
Yes.
And this is what America is about.
That's
our
the
rights.
truth. That's the truth. Well, now let's eat to that. So there's a secret ingredient in here.
And now you have the right to eat.
And now I have the right to eat. There's a secret ingredient in here, Peter, that I constantly, every time I come here, I beg you for you to tell me, and you just don't. What is it that you put in this octopus carpaccio?
Salt.
No, it's more than salt.
No, so, you know, it's a 3-step process, right? First you have to bring in the fresh octopus, and then you have to cook it, you have to season it, and then you have to roll it up into a little ball. You have to freeze it in your freezer so it's nice and frozen, and then you got to run it through the slicer. And then it actually melts on the plate, the frost. And then we do a lemon vinaigrette dressing drizzle with arugula, cherry tomatoes, and peppers.
Well, it's my favorite dish, and I think it's the drizzle, because there's something very sweet that I'm always tasting in the back.
The honey mustard.
The honey mustard. Well, guys, listen, if you have never tried shaved octopus carpaccio, make sure you head down to Bice Cucina, not just on Mother's Day, but on every day, or at least on the weekends, because they do have quite the menu, and definitely a very eclectic one, and something for everyone. So make sure you stop by. We'll be right back. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WR, the voice of New York.
If you've missed out dining in New York City for the past year, it's time to visit the legendary Bice Cucina. Located in the heart of Midtown, Bice specializes in blending delicious Northern Italian and American cuisine with dishes such as the incredible taglione lobster, ravioli masala, ossobuco, and pappardelle al telefono, along with many other mouthwatering offerings. You deserve a great night out. Call Bice Cucina, 212-757-2600, or online at bicecucina.com.
So Zen Sams, this risotto fruto de mare, and I hope I said that right because my Italian's kind of Puerto Rican, if you know. But the risotto is fantastic. The calamari, very good, and the lobster, super tender, excellent. I recommend this to anybody who wants to have it. Mother's Day weekend, any day weekend. This is where you want to be, right here at Bice Cucina, New York City, 55th Street. Great job, Peter.
Thank you.
Peter, this dish is my favorite dish after the octopus. I always start with the octopus carpaccio, and then I have the risotto fruto di mare, and it almost tastes like my grandmother's cooking. There's something very, very hearty and homey about it that's a very unique flavor.
Funny that you mention it, because this is your life, Zen, and coming from the kitchen is, come here, Grandma. No, just kidding. But thank you. It is very delicious. One of our most popular dishes. And we've never had anybody not make it.
Usually, the calamari is chewy in some dishes like this, and the octopus isn't tender. This is all of the opposite, right?
Not gummy in the least, this calamari.
Yeah, melts in your mouth.
People always say to me, oh my God, your food was amazing, thank you so much. And I always say to them, it better be. You know what my payroll in that kitchen is? If they're not getting it right, I'm going to start all over.
Absolutely excellent. Guys, you definitely have to check out Bice Cucina right here in Midtown Manhattan. Happy Mother's Day. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WR, the voice of New York. Thank you, Rich Valdes, for coming on. And Peter, always a great host. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CCP Digital, bringing you a view from inside blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFTs. Introducing the latest Blockchain Heroes series, Retro Rebellion NFT collectible card packs from the Nifty Company. Available January 2022. Find out more online at ccpdigital.com.
Well, that's a wrap, my dear friends. We are at the end of our date. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or go to 710WOR.iheart.com/A Moment of Zen. Remember, we're now on TV. Download the KP Media TV app on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or Android TV. Or tune in at watch.kpmedia.tv and catch A Moment of Zen on the Impact Live channel Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern. All episodes are now available on demand. Thank you for listening to A Moment of Zen. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks again to all of our sponsors for making the show possible. And remember, happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OG Pay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OG Pay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.